Hi there, this is Courtney Robinson, and I am a medical yoga therapist. I work for Dr. Alan Hatch at Celine Heart Group and Celine Wellness. I work intensive cardiac rehab for a Dr. Dean Ornish reversal program, and I work cancer rehab and recovery. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about what a medical yoga therapist does and what specifically I do and the benefits of what I do. So a medical yoga therapist is a yoga therapist, and ideally an accredited one, and I'll explain that in just a moment, is a yoga therapist who works in the medical field with the medical community and is considered a clinician. So to be a yoga teacher, there is no licensure, but there is accreditation standards for yoga teachers and yoga therapists. Anyone can call themselves a yoga teacher or yoga therapist, but that doesn't mean that they have the registration and have been through the training of an accredited program. There are accredited programs nowadays at colleges, accredited colleges, that also are registered with the accreditation services, if you will, or powers that be. And there are also vocational schools. Most yoga teachers go through vocational schools that are registered with the Yoga Alliance or the International Association of Yoga Therapists. They oversee the guidelines and the training, and they approve schools that teach that training. I myself have a 200-hour yoga teacher training, a 500-hour, and by that I mean I personally am a 500-hour experienced registered yoga teacher, which is the highest level one can get with Yoga Alliance. I have all the certifications with Yoga Alliance, including prenatal and children's. So I'm the highest level, every certification that they have. I previously owned two schools, a 200 and a 300, which I retired from this month after 10.5 years. I also have a registration and a registered or a certified yoga therapist with the International Association of Yoga Therapists, which is the overseeing board. You will hear people call themselves yoga therapists, but unless they have the CIAYT after their name, then they are not accredited yoga therapists because there is no licensure. It's kind of a little bit of the Wild West right now with yoga therapy. So I also have registrations with the Prime of Life yoga program and Yoga for Healthy Aging, and I am registered with Yoga of 12-Step Recovery through Nikki Meyer's program. So in heart disease and cardiac rehab, what I do is I want to tell you, I do 5 different parts. We do meditation, we do progressive relaxation, breath, postures, and imagery. And I want to tell you some of the benefits of that. One of the main things is for artery flexibility. You do not want to have hardened arteries. If you've heard anyone say that they have a hardened heart or hardened arteries, that is not good, and that reduces circulation and causes stenosis and plaque buildup. And so yoga postures help increase artery flexibility and make arteries more flexible, which in the event that, say, someone needed a stent and their artery was too hard, they could then have that life-saving stent or procedure, and that would be much safer for them. The next thing is yoga. All of the different parts of what I just told you reduce inflammation through reducing cortisol levels in the body. As you begin to tone and regulate your nervous system, you reduce your body's reaction to stress, and it reduces your your output of cortisol and stress hormones, and that in turn reduces inflammation in the body. I tell people it's kind of like having a garden and pulling your weeds. When you meditate and do your practice, it's like pulling your weeds and tending to your garden. You're setting up a healthy environment for your garden to grow. The third thing is postures can reduce edema as blood volume goes with gravity. So as we take our let's say we put our feet up in a chair, that blood volume is going to come down towards our pelvis. If we have that pelvis slightly elevated so that our heart is below our pelvis, then we're going to get that blood volume into our heart. Specifically, we work on the venous return, or the main artery of the heart, modifying for things like glaucoma, high blood pressure, or retinopathy, and I give them a safe way to do that. The whole premise of yoga therapy in this setting is based on polyvagal toning, which is also at this time, from what I can see, polyvagal toning research, which is as you regulate the nervous system through the vagus nerve at the brain stem, that part of your brain, the medulla oblongata, it is the seer. It sees. It's the part of you that notices that you notice. I notice that I'm looking out at my horses and shooting a YouTube video. It's the part of you that can focus and notice that you're meditating or breathing. Here in the back of the brain, down the brain stem or down through the vagus nerve, it touches every organ in the body, all of your internal organs, and it begins to regulate them, regulating your digestive system, your insulin, your heart rate, your blood pressure. You'll get more saliva in your mouth. So as you do the practice, you begin to regulate the nervous system, and that effect lasts for a period of time. The more you do it, the stronger it gets and the longer it lasts, and the more you're able to keep yourself regulated so that your nervous system doesn't just be like, wah! So it's incredibly helpful for things like weight management, for just keeping the cortisol levels and the blood pressure from growing up, and reducing tension in the body. There's a saying that where the breath goes, circulation goes, and we know that with movement and breath, we can increase circulation in the body as well. Also, the theory of epigenetics, as we know that with epigenetics, or how our genes play out through our life, that stress and health, diet, and exercise have a big impact on how our genes play out. So let's say you're born with this map and it says that you're going to get cancer at 46. But you've lived a really healthy life. You eat healthy, you've managed your stress, you're very likely not to get that cancer at 46. You may start to get it at 66, but you may recover from it much better. So I'll use myself as an example. I was recently tested positive for rheumatoid arthritis. Well, I'm 48 years old, and that's commonly found in much younger people, diagnosed in people in their 30s, and I so happen to have family members who have been in that situation. So I probably would have been diagnosed much earlier than had I not lived a super healthy life and been practicing yoga and meditation most of my life, because I started when I was a kid. In cancer, all of those things I just told you are also true, but we also know that through that same polyvagal toning, we can help regulate immune function. I will also do things like stimulate exercises to help stimulate the thymus and the lymph system, reducing lymph congestion, helping the blood cells produce the healthy blood cells that help to get rid of foreign invaders like cancer, viruses, bacteria. When we help to regulate that central nervous system through the vagus nerve, we begin to have that environment that has less inflammation, and i.e., you're not going to have as much sickness. When you do the movements and you keep the lymph system from getting congested, the lymph system, and that helps support T cells and the healthy cells that help modulate immune function. Also, you have, I think I've already said, better digestion just by doing the polyvagal toning, or by regulating the nervous system. Your digestion is going to be better. Plaque, we know, is stored in the colon. So as we do these exercises and these movements and we regulate our cortisol levels, our insulin levels are going to be regulated. We're going to have better digestion. Food's going to move through our belly better, and we're going to hopefully reduce some of getting rid of that waste product. And finally, there's just a massive psychological benefit from meditating and practicing. It reduces anxiety and depression. People tend to have more energy. They tend to sleep better. It just regulates everything so that you function at a normal kind of pace of life. You know, I say that life just is like a pendulum. It throws to the left, it throws to the right. It's just moving like this all the time. And the practice helps to center that pendulum. And so when we practice and we get centered, that the body and the mind become centered, and it stays centered, and it doesn't swing wildly. But you have to keep practicing, just like you eat right and you take your vitamins and you stay healthy. You have to keep practicing to keep that benefit going, but you don't have to practice all the time. Every day is great, and that is our prescription, 1 hour a day. But doing just a little bit on a regular basis, there's a massive benefit. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for being here. You can find me at CourtneyRobinsonYoga.com. I'm in a lot of different media. There's a lot of media out there that I've been in. I mainly just work at the clinic. I do often do speaking engagements and conferences. My passion right now is educating the medical community about the benefits of yoga therapy and finding proper yoga therapists to teach this work and to lead this work. All right, thank you very much. Many blessings to you. I appreciate you so much. Have a great day.